Hey, it's CJ here. Welcome back into True Point of Creation. Now, I've been making another piece of collage art. This piece of collage art here I was working on, and it's not using the triangles. I was using squares, and you'll see why I was using the squares here in a minute. I'm trying to flatten it down, but I was already cutting this up. I already cut it all up into pieces, as you can see, and I already glued down some pieces. But again, I didn't want to make this a 4-hour video as I was trying to figure out what I was doing, and I'll explain everything I was doing here in a minute, and then we'll bring in the main vocal piece at the end. So you ready to see this part? Let's check out this part first. Okay, it's kind of crazy, kind of wild, kind of weird. Doesn't really make much sense right now. Here, I'll tell you what's going on right here. So this is actually a big brain here to the side. This is a big brain, and it was connected to a black piece of paper. You could kind of see it here, but it was just like on the side of a piece of paper, and then this was a bunch of text over here. So I wanted to kind of put these squares in here. Instead of triangles, I wanted to cut triangles, but I was like, it doesn't make sense with the picture that I'm putting on top of this. I wanted them to be squares, and there's a reason why I wanted them to be squares. Now, I don't know, it's kind of trying to flatten it out a little bit more. This paper is pretty thick, but for some reason it just wants to kind of bend on it, and it's a cardstock type of piece of paper, poster paper. Maybe it's the glue. I'm not really sure why it's bending up like that, but trying to flatten it out. Maybe I didn't glue it solid in all the parts, all the pieces. I don't know, it looks pretty good. I had this little thing over here. I was flattening it out, but you can see I cut the brain and tried to shove in those pieces behind it. The point to them is supposed to be like little screens. They're like little television screens. They're all different sizes and shapes of stuff, but also weird stuff going on. A lot of nature things. We got Nemo up over here. He looks like Nemo or something, and then some more fish, and then we got some outer space. Got some glaciers and stuff over here. Looks like maybe that's a plane. There's a plane's wing, and they're flying over that, and the volcano, and then maybe a black hole or something like that. Some sharks down here. It's just some random pictures that I was taking, kind of like they're screens on a television. Maybe you're watching the Nature Channel. I'm not sure. National Geographic. We got a bunch of those magazines. That's not where these are from. This is all modern stuff. None of this is vintage. Pretty obviously it's not vintage, but that doesn't matter. We're just making some funny pieces of surreal collage art. This is definitely some surreal collage art. It's just really funny. I wanted to show you guys this. I went through and I glued all these pieces. So roll the B-roll. Let's see. I did hit record on the camera. So what I was doing, going through and gluing all these pieces. Now I just wasn't really sure what I was going to do. So I was like, well, maybe I'll just push record. I'm not going to talk this whole time because who knows how long it's going to go or what's even going to happen. But I think I have a piece. I don't know. It just seems kind of funny and random and weird. And that's why I wanted to do it. I mean, I like to do different styles. I'm still trying to make like some vintage stuff for my house. But at the same time, I'm just trying to have fun. Just trying to have fun with this is what I recommend you do as well. Is just if you're making some surreal collage art or any type of collage art, or if you're just journaling or scrapbooking or even making a vision board, like have fun with it. And I've realized that cutting up all these pieces is actually really relaxing. I had a bunch of stressful stuff going on this week, and this actually helped me relax. So I recommend it. I recommend it if you're looking to unwind a little bit and maybe just do a little scrapbooking or maybe make a piece of collage art. I don't know if it's gonna turn out good, but at least who cares? You had fun doing it and you stop thinking about all the other stuff, because when you really start trying to cut around a brain, you know what I'm saying? Then your brain kind of focuses in and you stop thinking about that. Even with this, they're not exact cuts, but I'm just like taking the razor blade and trying to make them like the lines straight, so just doing that, and don't want to cut my thumb off or anything, so I'm kind of paying attention to what I'm doing. So then I stop worrying about all the other stuff, and worrying never really helps anyway. So it's a good way to relax and kind of unwind, and that's what I was doing because I have a whole bunch of other things going on. And with all the magazines that I have, they're just piling up all over the place, and so I've been working on other storage solutions, and it's a little tricky when you have thousands of magazines and you want to get to them all the time, and you need one and it's all the way in the last box down at the bottom, and that actually just happened to me. So just go with it, but needed to kind of unwind, so I started making this piece. So now, let's get back to talking about this piece. I don't know, it's got a brain on it. My brain's going kind of wild, so I was like, well, let's make some wild stuff. Let's make some stuff. And then I found a couple cool pieces, and I was like, yep, I need to make something right now. So I stopped doing what I was doing, started cutting all this stuff up, and let's get rid of this. Let's kind of clean it up before I show you what the piece is about. I'm just gonna Throw that into there. And we got all these scraps, which they're pretty cool. There's actually still some cool scraps, some guitar pieces. Really like that guitar. You'll see the piece of the guitar comes into it. There's the rest of the sharks. There's some sharks. They didn't make it in the bottom part of the sharks, but I was like, I'll cut them up in a square kind of. Oh, look at that masterpiece. And then I don't know what that's from. Looks like, the sickness. We've seen that before. All right, so I'm just going to take these scrap pieces, save them for another time or pass them along to someone else so they can make some collage art with them. These would be cool if you like put it in the back of a TV screen or something. It'd be kind of funny. And I actually thought about that, but let me find another spot to put these so they don't get messed up. Just for now, and I'll put them in a bag or something. That's what I've been doing. And now, are you ready to put this piece together? Again, kind of like one of the last ones I did. I don't know if it was the last one, but one of the ones that I did, I kind of did all this without you. And then I wanted to bring you in just as we glue down the big piece. So, it all comes together and we all get to see it together. So I figured I'd do that. Are you ready to see it? I'm calling this, what was I calling it? Telly Man. Okay, this is called Telly Man. Are you ready to see my piece of surreal collage art? We're calling it Telly Man. I don't know, does it make sense to you yet? Guess. Think about it. Think about it. What is Telly Man? What would Telly Man possibly be? And how does this work? These are like television screens, and then this is his brain. He watches too much television, first off, So I guess you can imagine that. Too much TV, Telly Man. Telly Man. You ready? You ready to see what Telly Man looks like? Ready? Ready? Here we go. Boom. Here's Telly Man. You ready to see Telly Man? Check him out. Isn't that wild? I don't know. It's just crazy. Okay, he's got too much brain. He's got his brain's on TV. He's been watching way too much TV. Okay, he's got his remote. He's got his videotapes. I mean, I don't know. That fender, it's looking pretty hard. That's what she said. Anyway, we're gonna glue Telly Man down. I don't really know how I'm gonna get him, so I glued him together. I glued his little remote here, his videotape, and his guitar and all of his stuff. I glued him together and made him like this. This is Telly Man. I figured Telly Man would want his videotape because he wants to go back and watch it. You know what I'm saying? I think so. I mean, it sounds fun to me. But anyway, he's got his Fender. You know how them Fenders play. They play real good. Ask your lady, she knows. Fender plays good. All right, so now we're gonna go and just put some glue on the back of here. Be very careful because this glue, I don't know, I like it. It sticks good, but it also sticks when you're gluing. And maybe I'm just pushing too hard here, but sometimes it'll rip it. I've had it rip the paper on me. So we got to watch out what we're doing here. I'm just gonna put enough glue so Telly Man can stick and he can live on forever. Sort of. I don't know about forever. See, I kind of want the remote to stay in front there of it, but it's a little tricky. A little tricky. Try to get the corners, I think, the most, but as you can see, I don't know, you can kind of see this. I know the angle kind of gets over here to the side. Didn't want to do it right on the middle, but the way when you push down on it, it likes to grab the paper. And I don't know, maybe I should look at better practices how to use this type of glue stick. Someone recommended it to me and I was using it. And I like it. It's sticky, but it's also sticky. See, it's sticky, but it's also sticky when it touches the paper. All right, we're just going to drop Telly Man in. We don't really know where he goes. He just goes. His brain's on television. So I think somewhere in that atmosphere. Ooh, yeah, just trying to give a little space here and a little space on top. His fender may get cut off, Lorena Bobbitt style, you know what I mean. But we got him. We got him on there. Boom. Check him out. Check him out. And get a quick look real quick. See, I'm going to take this little thing. I had this kind of handy dandy thing. Rubbing my hands all over this kind of, when my hands have glue on it, this little piece kind of helps out. I don't know. It came in some like free Scamazon art kit or something. All right, so I'm gonna flip Telly Man over. No more looking at Telly Man. He needs his privacy. Give him a second. All right, we got this frame here from IKEA. You know these frames. These are cool. I got a bunch of these where they're just cheap. It's not real glass in here, so it just makes it simple. And I kind of like how you can make it pop out like that. So that's really cool. So let's go and put him in this way. Think it's gonna fit. Oh yeah. He's in his frame. He's in his frame. Boom. Set him down. Set him down. And then that other art kit I got is this thing. Now these little tabs, I'm sure you've seen these before on picture frames, but man, one of them went behind my nail and just, man, I was feeling that for days, and I just stuck my nail in there to get it up. You know, I'm sure you've probably done the same thing. But then I realized, I'm like, I just need something flat, like a little spatula. And it just happened this art kit came with these. I think they're meant to like scoop your piece up when it's stuck to the ground or stuck to the page or something. Not really sure, but I think that's what it's for. But I found a better use for it, saving my fingernails, and they actually need to be clipped right now anyway. But you know, when you get that and it sticks you up in there, man, it was bleeding and it hurt for days. I couldn't get that pain away. Dang. Man, I broke my arm in 2 places. That hurt worse. I don't know. Anyway, are you ready to see the premiere of Telly Man? This is my new piece of surreal collage art, and we're calling him Telly Man. You ready? You ready to see him in the frame? Boom. There he goes. look at him. It's crazy. These are all supposed to be like little television screens or stuff. I guess he's watching, you know, Nat Geo or something like that. But, you know, there's Finding Nemo on up there. He's got a bunch of other stuff, but he's got his remote over here. He's got his videotape, and he definitely got his Fender guitar. You know how to play that Fender guitar, right? Yeah. So this is a really cool piece. I really like this piece. He's just funny. It's just kind of clowning and taking a step back from the vintage collage art. This was just a fun way to kind of make something different, relax my mind, and just make some surreal collage art. I think that's what's really fun about surreal collage art is you could just do whatever you want, and who cares? Just do what you want. And it takes the stress off of everything, like, because you're trying to cut around these, and it's not really serious, so I'm not like too worried. Like, I'm not worrying about it. I'm just cutting around it, cutting out the videotape. The Fender was kind of hard, you know? The Fender was hard to cut out around the guitar, but it's really easy to cut around the remote because it's just a black piece, you know what I'm saying? So super easy to cut. And then with these, I'm just taking a little ruler and a razor blade and just and make sure I don't cut myself, and that's all I'm doing. So not really hard, but it's also stress relieving. I think it's really cool, but I'm not sure. Do you like this? Do you like this piece? This is Telly Man. I don't know. I just came up with it. Just wanted to throw some stuff together and see what happened, and then relieve some stress. I'm not thinking about that anymore. Now I'm going to have maybe dreams or nightmares of Telly Man. I'm not really sure, but this piece, we're calling him Telly Man. He looks, he looks, he looks funny. I don't know. I just think it's a funny piece. Would you put this in your house? I want to know. Would you put this in your house? That would be funny. Just do it and then put it where your wife's at, or to put it where your husband's at, and just like freak them out or something. Like put it by their nightstand or something. I don't know. I don't know. It'd just be funny. But anyway, if you enjoyed this little video, make sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and I'll catch you in the next one.